Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Stargirl Season 3, and this is going to be my review for episode 12 for the season, the penultimate episode of the season, and I guess the show as well, otherwise entitled The Last Will and Testament of Sylvester Pemberton. So of course, spoiler alert for everything going to go in this episode, because there's some massive reveals in multiple different areas and multiple different characters and everything like that. So go away if you don't watch the episode, but if you have watched the episode, let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions, thoughts, any predictions moving into the finale. Very curious to hear what you guys thought of the episode and what you think's going to play at the end. And yeah, let me know down there. And of course, if you are going to enjoy the video, you enjoyed the episode, want to show your support, why not drop a like on the video to do all that? So of course we were on a break last week because of the Thanksgiving week celebration stuff in America. So the week before that, in episode 11, we had sort of like the build up to the end of this season with everyone else finding out about Icicle's return, I guess, as well as the fate of the Crocs as well. And Icicle's playing it off as if he has changed and wants to help, but Sylvester just really doesn't trust him at all. And obviously we know that's playing into a plan, as we see in this episode, but you know, he has some backing, as at the end of the episode we see Icicle meet up with the Ultra Humanite, like in the gorilla, what we believed, or what we're led to believe, sorry, is the Ultra Humanite in this gorilla form, and that it's time for the next stage in their plan. Now, what that next stage was very interesting to see play out, and technically it hasn't really played out as of yet. That's going to be for the finale to show us all. But this episode, it was, you know, a bit of a slow move in, but you knew it was building up to something, because as soon as that Mike and Jakeem stuff was happening with Cindy and they were tapping back into that Dragon King stuff and finding the labs, I'm like, well, the Ultra Humanite was at another lab there. So I'm like, well, something Ultra Humanite related is going to be revealed there. Of course that happens. So we're building up to that. There was crazy stuff going with Sylvester. We didn't know the twist at the time, so we thought it was going to be a big battle or something like that, or he might die. So they bamboozled us in multiple ways in the setup for stuff that happens towards the end of this episode. And I thought the episode was a great penultimate episode to lead into the finale next week. Now, we do start this episode in Los Angeles, not with Pat and Courtney and stuff before they moved to Blue Valley, but decades ago, like ages ago, in the black and white times, where we see some footage of Dolores Winters winning her acting award, which was referenced last episode or the episode before. But of course, at this point, the Ultra Humanite is the one within, Dolores Winters, in control of it. His brain is within her body. And afterwards, we see her reveling in her achievements, or I guess him reveling in her achievements, whatever it might be, only to be approached by an acquaintance who gets a bit too personal with her and a bit proddy. This prompts her to kill him, but that isn't the last the last visitor of the night. Dr. Ito, aka Dragon King, arrives pre-Dragon King, so when he was, I guess, just Dr. Ito, and Dolores, or Ultra Humanite, knows that the JSA is getting close to finding her. So, in need of a new vessel for their brain, there's an albino gorilla, a giant albino gorilla, I think from Congo, or was it just Congo Bill was the guy's name that called the gorilla? I'm not too sure specifically where they say it's the gorilla's from, but that's the desired choice to be the next vessel for the brain of the Ultra Humanite. But in regards to the present day stuff, there is a lot just going on in Courtney's mind, whether that be due to the recent events of the Croc's death, or how Artemis is dealing with it, or Icicle's return, obviously Cameron as well, and just what's happening with Sylvester and his motives. Now, speaking of Artemis, she has the intention to actually go out on her own and kill Icicle and get revenge for her parents, but Sylvester wants her to do something else with her time, make her parents proud by going on with her life the way it was going, and, those achievements and stuff, with Sylvester saying he is the one who will take Icicle out. Now, of course, this is just to keep everyone out of his way, so there's no other witnesses there, which unfortunately we have at the end of the episode. So just pretty much to keep all that as limited as possible. Now, Rick is starting to feel major side effects of his overuse of the hourglass, because the limiter's been taken off. With it being that when he pretty much just takes off the hourglass, he sort of gets like mass withdrawals due to it. Like his body is addicted to it now. And I thought they would play a sort of like drug addiction type story into this, or sort of has like similar effects to like a heavy drug addiction. And I think it makes sense to work it in, because I mean, essentially it is a drug of sorts. It's pumping you up, making you stronger, everything like that, like an external source. Now, Sylvester does tell Beth and Yolanda about his plan on taking down Icicle, but he speaks about continuing the JSA's legacy and, and making sure it doesn't die out like some other mantles did, with it coming across as like a bit of a final message of sorts to them, which is worrying to both Beth and Yolanda. And that's what this episode did. It made you, like, not second guess Sylvester, but once the reveal comes at the end, you look back at the episode and you really see that, I guess, quote unquote, Sylvester was really playing everyone to really make it think it was him. And what he's doing was, it was his journey and stuff to sort of keep them separated, but also keep him in good memory, like not make it too not too suspicious, not be completely different, but also be different at the same time, if that makes sense. So I think they did a really good job with Sylvester in the lead up to what we get at the end of the episode. But speaking of the parts that made you go, okay, well, something's been revealed here, Mike and Jakeem do push Cindy to explain sort of what's going on with her and her father's connection to it all, with Jakeem sort of rushing to quickly wish for the Thunderbolt to take them to the right lab that holds the answers for Cindy's problems, which, it does, but at the same time creates another problem as well. But while all this is going on at the McKents, Cameron is still wondering why Courtney hasn't called him. I mean, there's a bit going on, Cameron. I mean, give her time. But the disappearance of Mr. Dysinger is the talking point of the town. Now, we of course know Cameron's grandmother killed him, but Jordan is trying to push the option or the notion that the Ultra Humanite killed him, and that him bringing in the Ultra Humanite could change opinions of him. And obviously, that's going to be a very interesting route to see where it goes in regards to, well, is it the gorilla that's handed in, or is it Sylvester? Is it like, do they try and make it seem like the hero was the villain the entire time? Like, that's the curious thing that we're going to have to wait and see, I guess, next episode. I haven't seen the trailer to just preface that, so I don't know if the trailer reveals anything. The only thing I know that happens in the trailer is apparently they say season finale. They don't say series finale. A lot of shows that get cancelled, they change it to series finale. I don't know why it still says season, so I guess we'll talk about that in the trailer breakdown tomorrow. But Sylvester versing Pat, we did get this big argument, and Sylvester's just trying to hit Pat deep, so there is like no push to assist him. Sylvester just wants to go out there alone, with him even blaming Pat for his death on that night just over 10 years ago, claiming he distracted him, just harsh words and stuff like that. But Courtney hears all of this and returns some harsh words of her own about how, Pat is the real hero, calling him her father really for the first time. However, this doesn't really affect Sylvester too much, which we learn out why that is later, and he just essentially rips the staff from Courtney's hands in order for him to do his deed. And this whole turn to make everyone hate him in order for him to go solo is quickly realized by Pat, and this pushes Pat even harder to make sure Sylvester doesn't actually get himself killed. Now, Sylvester had actually destroyed Stripe, so he couldn't go after, so Pat couldn't go after Sylvester, but Pat quickly makeshifts a flamethrower, which is pretty cool, in order to head over to the McKen household, which he knew that's where Sylvester would be heading, which Sylvester isn't happy about, as you would expect, but it's also because it's going to intrude on something. It's going to intrude on a meeting that was happening there, and Sylvester does reluctantly agree to Pat helping him out, so he's not as antsy and clingy to Sylvester, and just like, hey, we're on the same team now, let's go and sort this out. But this is where we get the big reveal of the episode in multiple ways. And as I said, with this Jakeem and Mike storyline with Cindy, you knew it was going to lead to a reveal. I didn't think it was going to lead to a reveal in regards to multiple characters that are both currently on the show and that I guess was thought to be dead. So Jakeem's wish takes himself, Cindy, and Mike to another of Dragon King's labs, which Sydney had not been to. But when they get there, they notice that someone has actually been there recently and frequently. It's a used lab. It's a currently used lab, with them finding a body, and when the sheet is pulled back, it's the body of Dragon King, the one that Cindy killed. Cindy killed Dragon King back in season 1. There's even blood in like the stab mark in like the abdomen area. There was blood on the sheet there because that's where Cindy stabbed him. And obviously, it's not Dragon King just chilling there like, hey, I'm hiding under the blanket, ready for a surprise. It's the rotting corpse of Dragon King. It's stinky. But the major thing is that his brain is missing. The top of his head is missing. The brain is gone. With it being revealed, that his brain is the one inside the gorilla, not Ultra Humanite. He is the one that Mike and Jakeem came across at the barn that time a couple of episodes ago. And the Ultra Humanite's brain that was in Dolores Winters and that we thought would be in the gorillas, it's inside Sylvester's. Talk about a twisty McTwist, make you second guess, but it all still makes sense at the same time. Wow. Wow, what a that's a wow, just what a reveal. It worked out so well. And this was a theory. There was a theory that maybe the Ultra Humanoid's brain could be in Sylvester's head. That was tossed out there because obviously the fact that the rebirth, if you want to call it Sylvester, hasn't still been properly explained at this point in the season, made people a bit suspect about it. It's like, well, hold on, could that make sense? Or is that a cover up? There's still going to be more there that's going to be explained. Could Ultra Humanite, now that he's been played into the season, actually be the one connected to Sylvester? So it was there, it just wasn't the big theory that was out there. Nothing with Sylvester is really overly attached in most people's theories, you know, in regards to, oh, like he's in charge or he's tied up with the Ultra Humanite. But that's exactly what it was. He is the Ultra Humanite. And even along with this, we get some more connective tissue throughout the season, sort of hinted at when Rick shows up to Courtney's asking for help with his issue, with them just wondering, like, why the hell would Sylvester tell Rick how to remove the timekeeping part of the hourglass if he knew that it would do this to Rick? But we know why, which is when we actually see Sylvester, or I guess we'd say Ultra Humanite, burying Pat alive, with it being revealed that the body was preserved thanks to the cosmic energy like had been theorized early in the season. So it is the perfect body to take. And that, you know, researching Pat by speaking to other people before showing up set his plan up. We saw that at the end of season 1. We saw it at the beginning of season 2 with him showing up and speaking to Pat's former landlord, Pat's ex-wife and Mike's mother. He was speaking to people that knew Pat to sort of get more details, not only where Pat was, but just the general history there. Now, we are left leading out of the episode thinking that Pat's dead, that Pat's literally dead. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we're led to believe that he is dead. So next week's finale, and what we're led to believe is a series finale because it's been cancelled on the CW at the very least, though the trailer apparently still says season finale, which confuses everyone still. I can't wait to see how it plays out and how it wraps everything up. It's going to be a doozy, I think. But yeah, overall, this episode, as I said at the beginning, just kept you not exactly sure where things were going. Like, we thought Sylvester was just pretty much going on a kamikaze mission of sorts against Icicle and just not wanting anyone there and any other collateral damage potentially, but it was all part of the plan. And how everything plays out next week is going to be very curious. And when you think about it even more, it's going to be a battle for the staff. You're going to have Courtney without the staff, Ultra Humanite as Starman with the staff. There's going to be a battle there. And I cannot wait to see how it plays out. And who knows who else is waiting in the background to show up and potentially help Icicle, maybe, or maybe even help Courtney in the JSA. It's gonna be crazy, and I can't wait. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on all of this, favorite parts, any theories moving into next week's finale, everything like that. Always curious to read. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.